Thanks for joining me again as we look back at another great classic film. This is a classic horror film that features three of the biggest stars of the period. It's a remake that draws greater inspiration from a previous film version rather than the original novella. It takes a unique approach to telling a well-known story, and while being a film that drew a mixed response from both critics and audiences, it's still a great viewing experience. It is Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde from 1941. Victor Fleming was under contract at MGM when they acquired full rights to the 1931 film from Paramount Pictures, and he was offered the chance to direct. While the original story is drawn from the 1886 Gothic novella The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, this film is essentially a remake of that Oscar-winning 1931 film starring Frederick March. Both stories differ greatly from the book and are closer to Thomas Russell Sullivan's 1887 stage adaptation. The screenplay, written by John Lee Mann, was heavily based on Percy Heath's and Samuel Hoffenstein's 1931 screenplay, with the characters of Ivy Peterson and Jekyll's fiancée Beatrice Emery coming from that film script. It was a requirement at the time for the script to be submitted to the Hayes office before production could commence. This led to changes which included the character of Ivy Peterson being a barmaid rather than a prostitute, removing the sadistic line Hyde delivers to Ivy, "I'm hurting you because I like to hurt you," and removing any suggestion of Ivy's rape. The studio's original choice for the role of Dr. Henry Jekyll and Mr. Edward Hyde was Robert Donat, but the part went to Spencer Tracey, who was cast despite concerns about his age. Tracey was so eager to begin filming that he turned down James Stewart's role in The Philadelphia Story to appear in this film. After Patricia Morrison and Susan Hayward were tested for the roles of Ivy and Beatrix, and Vivien Leigh had turned down the role of Ivy to appear in That Hamilton Woman, Tracey wanted both main female characters to be played by Katharine Hepburn, to reinforce the theme of the good and the bad qualities in every person. Instead, Ingrid Bergman, on loan from David O. Selznick, was initially cast as Beatrix, the virtuous fiancée of Jekyll, with Lana Turner playing barmaid Ivy. Bergman asked Victor Fleming if she and Turner could switch roles, and after a screen test, Fleming agreed. Experienced English actors Donald Crisp and Ian Hunter are well cast as Sir Charles Emery and John Lanyon, respectively. American Barton McLean appears as Sam Higgins. Former cricketer and veteran English actor C. Aubrey Smith appears as Bishop Manners, with the Irish-American actress Sarah Allgood cast as Mrs. Higgins. The film is unique for depicting no significant physical difference between Jekyll and Hyde, instead placing a greater emphasis on the psychological and neurological elements of physical disorders and the unreality of outward appearances as a sign of health or degeneracy. Spencer Tracey wanted to have Dr. Jekyll commit violent acts after drinking alcohol or taking drugs in a neighbourhood where he was unknown, but the producers wanted to stick closer to the 1931 film, with MGM executives hiding that film to avoid competition with their remake. Due to legal restrictions and the lack of readily available copies, the 1931 version was not publicly available again until 1967. Tracey wanted to play Hyde without makeup, but his test performances were unconvincing, so makeup was used. Ingrid Bergman and Lana Turner struggled to cry in some scenes, and when nothing else worked, Victor Fleming resorted to slapping them in order to get them to cry. After completion of the film, the Hayes office ordered the removal of two montage sequences of Jekyll turning into Hyde, and the removal of the shot in which Tracey is shown lashing the two girls. No serious censorship problems arose after the film's release, but the picture was banned in Memphis because in the eyes of the censor, Bergman was an immoral woman due to her relationship with Roberto Rossellini. Spencer Tracey's performance as Hyde didn't impress critics because he was not frightening enough, was too American, and was too rough to be believable as an upper-class doctor in Victorian London. On its release, the film was a notorious critical failure, despite eventually taking over $2 million at the box office and making a $350,000 profit. For Spencer Tracey, it was by far his least favourite film, and feeling his performance was awful. The New York Times famously described it as not so much evil incarnate as ham rampant, more ludicrous than dreadful, but did admire Ingrid Bergman's performance and the superbly photographed chase scene of Hyde running amok through foggy London streets, his cape billowing behind him like a vision of terror. Variety cited weaknesses in the development of the film's characters and situations, but overall gave it a very positive assessment. They predicted the film would attract a big audience and were especially impressed with Bergman's performance. The Film Daily praised Victor Fleming's direction for its pacing and staging, describing his handling of the actors as flawless. The general public had mixed views about the film, with fan magazine Hollywood recommending that its readers should see the picture for Bergman's excellent, breathtaking performance, despite the film's passé plot and Tracey's humorous portrayal of Hyde. More recently, Leonard Maltin gave it 3 out of 4 stars, praising both Tracey's and Bergman's performances, and it scored 6.7 and 6.8 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb respectively. It earned Academy Award nominations for Best Black and White Cinematography, Best Film Editing, and Best Musical Score, but didn't win. Lots of good reasons to watch this film. It is a classic, well-known, much-admired story, and it is interesting to see it told in a different way. Tracey, Bergman and Turner are all strong leads, even if it wasn't one of their all-time best performances, and the black and white cinematography in particular is quite spectacular. So what I suggest you do is that you go to our website, find our virtual screenings page, find the link to this particular film, click on it and watch it, and as always, see what you think. We'd invite you to come back, let us know your thoughts about the film, and whether you'd recommend it for others as well. And then we're back in the not too distant future for our next classic films review. Catch you next time.